Camera is rolling again and action.
Abimbola Ogunsanya is a multi-award winning veteran filmmaker, film director. He was born and brought up in Lagos. Cut across his career, he has been trained on the Nigerian Television Authority (NTA) and a certificate of news gathering as cameraman. He also shot news materials for the South African Broadcast Corporation. He worked on the Under-21 World Cup Nigeria 1999 and Ghana Nigeria National Cup 2000 as a sport cameraman. He later worked on award-winning films like Angela.
He killed my only daughter! I don't want to hear a thing about your God.
There has to be a solution to this now.
Of course, there's a solution now. Tó bá ti lè bá wèrè sùn.
Kí ló bá wèrè ṣó gbọ́ kan tó sọ? It's gonna be a girl.
Lifeline.
Imagine this, you're 6 feet below the Earth's surface. Stuck in a dark and stuffy coffin. Wait a minute, you found your phone. Battery is low, only 10% left, and just enough airtime to make one call. Who will you call?
Is currently switched off. Please try again later. Thank you.
Would I take my phone? Why? Why? Would I do why?
Who will you call? Who will be your lifeline in your greatest moment of need? And why are you so sure that person will drop everything else and come to your aid? Time is running out. Choose your lifeline now. Your life just might depend on it. Produced and directed by Bimbo Ogunsanya. Lifeline, the movie, coming soon.
Mr. and Mrs. Kugberigbe season that puts smile on so many people's face on terrestrial TVs and online TVs.
Láàárín gbogbo àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi, èmi ni mo pẹ́ kí n tó fẹ́yàwó. Wàhálà obìnrin pọ̀ jù.
Abimbola Ogunsanya, to his archive, he has been part of TV reality shows, major shows that has blown the mind of viewers globally and locally, like Project Fame.
What a feeling! Just once, can we find a way to finally make it right?
Nigerian Idol. Abimbola Ogunsanya was part of the team that shared the first 65 episode of the award-winning series Tinsel. He shot international TV commercials for MTN. True passion is producing films focusing on the lives of ordinary children and women of Nigeria in all capacity, building them to the phantom that integrates to what people, both the rich and the poor, can relate with. Abimbola provides an insight into the lives of the poor and marginalized in Nigeria. Despite the accolades and award he has received, his documentaries has been seldom been provided a public view in Nigeria until the release of his recent film, Don't Walk Away. Don't Walk Away have been a film that has been cutting across the mind of Nigerian viewers, which we believe it has cut across the globe. Abimbola was trained by the renowned veteran filmmaker. We acknowledge him as Baba Tunde Kelani. So Tunde Kelani has been the major input that has contributed to the growth professionally to the life of Abimbola. He also trained at the Independent Television Producers Association ITPAN Training School. He trained and acquired certificate of sound quality from African Magic that meets both local and international standard, eminent South Africa. Abimbola, he has a vast experience in the field of producing, directing, photography, lighting, editing, soundboard location and finance, makeup and costuming, special effects, acting, and presentation. His late father was a Nigerian veteran musician and TV personality, popularly known as Yom Yen. I think this is genetical, inherits the feels to add flavor to the face of movie making in our country. Of a truth, Abimbola Ogunsanya has been a blessing cut across the western region of Africa. He has also made so many music videos like Olo Me by Tosin Martins,
tí mo fẹ́ wọ́n bẹ lára rẹ̀ bèbí gbórúkọ mi ó bá ẹlẹ́wà mu mo fẹ́ bá ẹ darúgbó mo fẹ́ bá ẹ dalẹ̀ ìwọ ni mo fẹ́ Nàìjírí lójoojúmọ́ ayé mi.
Just to mention few, he has trained a lot of young filmmakers, a great one that has been doing fine in the industry, and helped a lot of youth make a living in filmmaking. He also consulted for some TV stations and created TV programs like Miliki Express, widely known in the trad community, showing on Orison TV, the other show on TNT Go TV, Build a Legends in Sababi, Forgive and Forget, just to mention few. He has helped train so many youth become TV presenter on so many TV stations.
Miliki Express náà ṣì ni Oṣuọlálé Adétọ́lá yín náà ní kábíyèsí onímìlíkì ti ìlú Miliki. Ẹ wo bẹ́ẹ̀ bá fẹ́ polówó ọjà lórí ètò yìí ní pápá kọ́mọ́nkóbó ẹ pè Bimbo Ogunsanya sórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ 08023138367 àbí kẹ́ pè kábíyèsí onímìlíkì fúnra rẹ̀ sórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ 08034667252 kẹ́ wá bá wa dòwò pọ̀ kájé lè bùgbàjẹ́ ní kíákíá. Miliki Express náà ṣì ni à ń lọ báyìí ni àwa náà la tó padà wá, ojú tẹ́ fi ń wò wọ́ òní fọ́, etí tẹ́ fi ń gbọ́ wọ́ òní di, àmọ́ ká tó kúrò ó jẹ́ ká tún fi jó ra ńlẹ̀, ó jẹ́ ká tún fi jó parí ẹ̀ bá ṣe máa ṣe nìyẹn. Ẹ jẹ́ n sáré fi nǹkan tó yín létí.
Abimbola Ogunsanya is one rare gem on the West African region that has contributed to the growth of the industry in the world of filmmaking. Having received both international and local awards and training, he has injected the society, the environment of filmmakers, the young veterans, and the upcoming that look up to him. Abimbola Ogunsanya has deposited a landmark that can never be overlooked in the industry. Congratulations for those of you that part of meeting him today. I present to you the veteran filmmaker Abimbola Ogunsanya.
I actually learned like you're going to learn a mechanic, like you're actually going to learn a trade. Basically, that's how I actually started. I started by working with NTA, and I was working like a production assistant, and then I was actually even living in Motion. I was living in Motion and I was working on the island, and basically it wasn't easy for me going back and forth from my home to work. So most of the time, and I wasn't really being paid. I was really being given little or nothing, basically. So most of the time I have to always make my way down to the security post in the night to sleep at the security gates. That's on the island. That's the NTA security gate. And sometimes the security guys will tell me, look, you can't stay there. So I have to go to one particular customer that I have that's on the beach, who sells bread and egg, the Métis guy. So he knows me there because I basically picked him as a customer, because whenever I have issues sleeping, he will just give me some of his old cartons. So I put it on the sand and I sleep there. And I kept doing that for like 6 months of my life, and still kept on doing the job. And I raised up from just being a production assistant to a first camera assistant with After the Storm. Then before I now moved to the news department of NTA. And even when they wanted to start the entertainment news of NTA, I was like the first choice cameraman. It was easy for me to become a first choice cameraman, because most of the time when they were doing the Benson and Edge's Golden Tune, Godman's Groove, I wasn't even going home at all. So it was also just easy for me. So even during the Ghana Nigerian Nations Cup and during the Nigeria 99, I was part of the team. They actually worked on it. So I saw every day like a training process for me, because the first 1 year of my life I was like a studio rat. So I was learning every day. I was learning from the masters in the game. And after going through all that, I decided, because one day I watched a film called Tolu Anile that was shot by Babatunde Kilani. I've heard so much about him. And I looked at it and I said, okay, if this guy can do this, and he uses the same camera that I use, how come he's better than me? So because I wanted to be number one, I had to go and look for the number one man. Well, basically, I actually went into the film world. I went into the production world immediately I finished school. That's when I was in government college. The moment I left school, that was when I went into it. So I wasn't even in the higher institution then. But I had a vision, and that vision became a mission for me, because I wanted to be the best. I wasn't going to allow the situation that I was seeing myself on, because I lost my father when I was 14 years. So there was really practically nobody that was really ready to help at that moment. So I wanted to do it on my own, and I wanted to be the best. I don't want to be number two. I wanted to be number one. And going to be number one, I was ready to go all out. And I wasn't ready to steal from nobody, neither was I ready to beg anybody. So I was ready to suffer and get it done. And I thank God today. Well, one of the basic things is, let me go biblical a little bit. It's written in the Bible that my people perish because of lack of knowledge. You don't give what you don't have. A lot of filmmakers, not us, but some filmmakers have seen it like an easy way to success. They're seeing it like an easy way to doing things. Some people actually see it like, okay, if I'm not being able to go to school anymore, the best thing for me is to just become a filmmaker. A filmmaker's world is a scientific world. When you say, let me even go to the level of photography. When you say a director of photography, director of photography is meant to be like a professor in a university. It's not just anybody. It's somebody that has risen to a certain level. at the level of academics and at the level of experience. Now, we need to really understand that some part of the industry sees it as an easy way to money. Some part of the industry has taken it to be a trade, like it has become pepper and tomato. And some part of the industry still take it as serious business. Because basically, whether you like it or not, a filmmaker in Nigeria, in America, in the UK, you were all filmmakers. Now, if you begin to see, if you treat the filmmaking industry like it's bullshit, it will treat you like one. If you treat it like something that is worth doing, it will treat you like one. Well, one of the challenges that everybody seems to cry, we all cry about, is piracy. But piracy is one out of it. I think a lot of negligence is key. Yes, piracy is somebody who is beginning to push your work to places you are not pushing it to. Somebody who has taken over what you are meant to do. There are so many ways you can get to spread your work. You've given your work to a marketer, and the marketer only wants to sell 5,000 copies. 5,000 copies to how many people in Nigeria? The pirates had already all he just did was pick one of your 5,000 copies, and he made extra copies and sent it to places where you did not get it to. How many filmmakers send their films to film festivals? How many even know there are film festivals? How many knows that there are competitions all over the world? Until the whole thing about the online thing became like a big deal for marketing. How many people know that right there on YouTube you can make a lot of money? How many people know that even through Instagram you can actually sell your film? How many people know that if you go and do a one-on-one networking and you put people on the street and you're selling your CD for like 200 naira or 500 naira and people are right there at the traffic selling your films, do you know you will sell more than the marketer? How many people have been able to look at all those mediums? How many people understand that I can actually make the money for my film without even getting to the markets? In a filmmaker's world, it's like an army of soldiers. It is not a one-man job. No one man does one thing. Let me start from script to screen. Now, from the scripting point, we have the script writer who comes up with the screenplay. We have, first, even before it even gets to the script writer, we have somebody who has the story. The storyline could be a page, but a screenplay can never be a page. Now, the screenwriter, the story owner goes to the screenwriter. They both talk about the stories. By the time they come up with a screenplay, they go to the next stage, which comes to you bringing in a director. Now, you can see we have 3 people online already. Now, they bring in a director. The director begins to go through the whole thing, pick some things out, some things in and out. In between this, before the director is even being brought in, there is a producer. That is number 4 man that is coming in. Now, the producer is going to go out there to scout for money. Now, he brings in the director. The director now goes through the scripts. He removes some of the things that are not going to work in the script and he adds his own. That's his creative ideas. Now comes up with the director's script, gives it to the writer back. The writer now goes back and gives us a final draft of what we're going to shoot. Now, when we now get to that point, now we now begin to get actors. Before we get actors, we're going to get somebody called a production manager who is going to be working with the producer, trying to do like the offline producing while the producer is not there. The production manager now, between the director, the producer, and the director, they decide on who is going to film, who is going to bring these things into pictures. That's the director of photography. When the director of photography comes on board, now he now brings in, we now begin to talk about equipment. Even before we get to the level of equipment, we now bring in a second unit. That's if you guys are shooting on 2 cameras, we bring a second unit cameraman. Now, basically we're on almost like 7 people already. Now, we bring the second unit cameraman, we bring in a costumier who's going to be in charge of the clothes. We bring in a makeup artist who's going to be in charge of the beauty. We bring in a stylist who's going to be in charge of their hairdo. That's in case they need to make some unique kind of hair and the rest of it. And now we now bring in actors on board. Now, these are people that are even going to go in the field. We have production assistants that are still going to do some runners. We're going to get drivers who are going to drive us in. In between this whole thing, we bring actors on board. When we finish this, now we now bring in the post-production guys, which are the editors. By the time the editor does the first cut, the director comes in, he does his final thing. But after they go through that, they now go for a dubbing point, whereby the sound guy now has to balance off the sound. Now they bring the soundtrack person in. You bring somebody who does subtitling. Now back to your question. Gradually, we've seen like about 15 people coming between this whole process. So you can see there is a process that everybody can actually fit in, look at where your skill is, and make yourself useful and make a living out of it. Well, filmmaking is one of the easiest ways to make good money. Because as a writer, you don't write when you've not been paid. Because it's a creative process. So most of the time, like, okay, when I use, as a director of photography, anytime I walk into my bank and I go to the cashier, maybe I want to do a transaction and I go into my account, the person at the counter looks at my account and looks at me. And I look at her and say, okay, seriously, like you don't believe that I get 3 times your salary just by shooting a job. That's the way it works. Because you have to stay there for months, man. I have to just stay there for a week and I get 3 times your money. That's just the way the film industry has been structured. So you can actually make a living by just doing it well and being good at what you do. No matter how much you do it, there is always something coming to you. Well, a lot of actors, I most of the time when I'm on a table on a board of an audition, most of the time, most actors fail to ask some questions because they feel they know it all. Firstly, they don't understand what story they are about to do. They don't ask questions because they feel they're so scared to even ask the questions. Meanwhile, these people are always there to be able to listen to you. A lot of people always come with the mindset of, oh, I am prepared for this. You would have prepared like a playwright or something like a solo performance that you've done before. What about if I'm not asking you to deal with a solo performance? What about if I'm not asking for that? Can you ask me about the backstory of whatever you're about to read? Please, who is this person? I can give you the hints to it. I can give you an idea of who this character is by just asking a simple question. Please, who is this person or what age is this person? If I'm giving you a script of a 40-year-old woman and you are 15 years or 18-year-old lady, definitely you know a mannerism of a 40-year-old woman. So you will not read a 40-year-old line like a 15-year-old. Definitely you will not get it right. So a lot of people do not ask questions. They feel they know it. So they come in and they just go through the script and say, I'm ready. You're ready on what? Okay, read it, and you read. You're not reading, you're not acting. You're not acting because you don't know who the person is. You don't know who the person is because you have not spent time with the script. You have not spent time with the script because you have not asked questions. It's a medium whereby you ask questions. It's not a firing squad point. So you can actually ask questions. Please, who is this person? How old is this person? By the time you're asking the director some certain questions, the director knows you know what you are talking about and is ready to assist you because you're going to make his job easier because you can interpret some of these things. And those are some of the reasons why I think a lot of people don't actually make auditions. Well, basically, everybody can make it in the film world. Everybody can make it in the film world because I went into the film world when I was practically nobody. And I went into it with a vision. And that vision became a mission in me that I needed to achieve. There was a time I was invited. You remember I told you I used to sleep at the gates of NTA and sleep at the bar beach. But there was a time after I started working and the rest of them working, when I was working on Nigerian Idols, I was actually being paid about 400,000 monthly. And I work just like twice a week. How many people make that on the streets? How many lawyers get that kind of money? But it can only happen when you know what you're doing. There was a time I was invited by Al Jazeera and I had to travel to Qatar, and what I had with me was a first class ticket to travel Qatar Air, and I actually was staying at the Doha Sheraton, which is one of the biggest Sheratons in the world, and I had an S class with me that had the Nigerian flag, and I had to stay there for a week. I was actually in Doha, and my wife was in Ibadan. She was watching me live on Al Jazeera. How could that happen? I'm not president of Nigeria, but for that 1 week I was representing Nigeria right there. And it can only happen as a filmmaker. Now, the guy on the streets should have that vision. The lawyer can have that vision. The doctor can have that vision. A professor can have that vision. We've had professors like Professor Akin Omishola, Professor Adebayo Faleti, and the rest of them that wrote books. But each of those books remained books until Tunde Kelani picked them up and made films out of them. How many people knew the story of Oleku until Tunde Kelani made Oleku? How many people knew that there was Professor Akin Omishola until Tunde Kelani did Shaworide? That's why it's a room for everybody. The professor can bring out his book and we can make it and turn it to a film where everybody gets to see it. The guy on the streets can actually bring his trade, his expatriate, what he's been able to learn. He shouldn't just feel that, okay, because I'm on the street, then I have to die on the street. No, you don't have to have to allow the street to go through you. You're just there because of the situation. You can actually move yourself out of the street. I'm not telling you that you can come into the film world just because you're on the street. No. If you're ready to learn, it's a school. The film world is a process on its own. It's a school in its own world. Well, basically, I can recommend the Impact School of Broadcasting, and because I know that they are really doing a lot when it comes to impacting students and impacting the Nigerian populace. And basically, I'm sure by the time you log on to them or you find out information that are being put on your screen, you'll be able to know how to reach out to them and how to find out more about the course and how to get into it. And I'm sure this one is not just all about what they are actually doing. One of the things that actually interests me in what they do at Impact is different from everything that everybody does in each of the schools, because in Impact, they don't just teach you. They teach you and sell you to the world. They tell you how you can make money. They teach you how you can make money out of this thing. They teach you how you can become an international rated filmmaker. not just a filmmaker that is being thrown on the streets. You understand me? There's so much, there's so many people that go to the school and the school does not pass, they pass through a school and the school does not pass through them. But at Impact, I'm sure you actually go in there and you get value for whatever you went there to do.
It's gonna be a girl.